In today's cook, we are making my take on satay chicken. We're utilizing one of my classic and most favorite air fryer techniques. Now, is this 100% authentic? Probably not, but does it pack an incredible amount of flavor? Sure, it does. I know you're going to love this. So, this is the shopping list that you're going to need to create this absolutely incredible recipe. So obviously you're going to need some chicken. I've gone for one large chicken breast, and this will make enough for about two, depending on what you serve it with. You're going to need some corn flour, salt and pepper, some light soy sauce, some sesame oil, okay, because that's going to add some incredible flavor utilizing the technique that we're going to use. We're going to want some smooth peanut butter, some coconut milk. This is going to create our sauce, onion and garlic, and also a little bit of lime and some chili powder, the amount to your preference and strength, and also some light brown sugar that you'll see that I forgot to put in until the end, but it still worked out okay. Now, we're going to prepare the chicken first. This is the first step. And you just want to chop the chicken breast into decent sized chunks, okay, about, half an inch to an inch in size, but make sure they're all roughly about the same size. Okay, now we move into the first step of my air fryer technique for any of the recipes like this. Now, I've done a lot of recipes that are similar to this, and what I always do is I cut the chicken into chunks, and what I always do is a tablespoon of sesame oil and then a tablespoon of soy sauce. Now, you don't want too much, so it all depends on the amount of chicken, because as you can see here, we put it in the bowl and then we're going to mix it around, and so it's just like lightly covered, so all the chicken is nicely covered. It's not swimming it because we are not creating a batter. We are not creating a batter, I repeat, okay? Because as you're going to see here, we're going to add some corn flour into this mix. And I've gone for about 2.5 tablespoons into the mix. Okay, just directly dropped it on top of our chicken. And then I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt. Okay, and then as much black pepper as you like. I went for a lot. And then as you can see here, this technique, we're just going to mix it. And what's actually going to happen is that the chicken is just going to get this light dusting. Okay, light dusting around the chicken. It's not a batter, it's not wet. You can see it's dry, and that's ready. And this is going to make some incredible chicken. So now we need to prepare the onion. Now you can see here, I don't profess to have the most incredible knife skills, but the technique is what it's all about. So couple of slices down the middle, then slice down, and that will allow you to get it nicely diced. Then we're going to prep our air fryer, a few squirts of oil on the base, and then just drop all of that chicken in there. Ideally, you want there to be some air, but if some are overlapping, it really doesn't matter. Particularly considering we're going to be coating this in sauce a little bit later down the line anyway. And then give it a couple of sprays, get your air fryer ready to go, set it up for 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Click the start. We don't need to preheat it. And as you can see, when we get to about halfway through, they look pretty good. They look like chicken chunks, chicken balls, and then just give them a shake so they're not sticking. Again, it really doesn't matter how this works out, as long as they're not burnt or overcooked. Stick them back in for those final few minutes. Then we're going to prepare this absolutely legendary sauce. So, a little bit of oil in the pan. Then we're going to throw in this finely diced onion, half an onion, and then grate in your garlic once the onion has gone like translucent. I really need to get a better grater there. Then we pour in 2 teaspoons of this peanut butter. Now this is 100% pure peanut. And the supermarkets are now selling it. It's acceptable price, so we can get this, and it's much better than the other stuff that's got loads of other stuff in it. tablespoon of soy sauce, but you'll see in a minute that I put some more in because I wanted to. So it's all going to kind of come together, so it doesn't really matter if you put too much in, as long as you don't put way too much, obviously. But 1 to 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, then half of your lime. Then you can see that was level teaspoon of chili. You could put much more in, and a much stronger one if you want. You could also put some actual proper chilies at the time of the onion as well, if you want to have a real pack of a punch on that aspect. And then now we're going to make this sauce, right? So now that the kind of peanut is kind of cooked through a bit, we're going to add the coconut, and we're just going to loosen it. And you're going to think, this is really lumpy, this is never going to make a sauce, but you're going to gradually add 1/3 to a half of that can, and you're going to cook it on a low heat, and you're going to keep mixing, and gradually the peanut will get into the coconut milk, and it will get nice and thick. And just keep adding the coconut until you get your consistency. Now, what I would have done obviously previously is put in the sugar as well, which I didn't until right to the end, but it didn't make too much difference. If you want to leave it out, feel free to leave it out if you don't want it to be 100% sweet. But you can see here, this sauce is really nice and thick. We'll grab our chicken bites, we're going to dump it into this sauce. Now we want these to be coated, okay? So you will need to make sure that you have a nice amount of sauce. So if you get to this step before and it's really thick, you want to keep adding some coconut milk so you get a nice, loose but thick sauce. You can see what it is now. So when you drop it onto however you're serving it, you've got a nice amount of sauce, because you want the sauce, because the sauce is so flavorful. Okay, it's ridiculously addictive, this sauce. So make sure you've got the sauce, you've got it all over the chicken, and then serve it up entirely how you like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the taste test. Today we did my take on the chicken satay. Now, as I probably already said, satay essentially means grilled, so the fact that we cook this in the air fryer kind of defeats the object, kind of makes it null and void as satay. But we all know satay. When we think of satay, we think of that old peanut sauce. So that's what we've done. We've done my take on chicken with the peanut sauce. Real super duper easy version. As you can see, looks pretty good. Really simple. And I know this is going to be maximum flavour. And if you do like this, make sure you check out the channel for the sweet and sour or the orange chicken. They kind of follow a similar theme to what we did here. And they're just as good. The sweet and sour chicken, genuinely such a top dish. So we're going for the taster. Well, that is all the notes. You've got sweet, savoury, umami, tangy, and even a little bit of heat. Only a titchy bit, because I'm a bit of a wimp there. So we just put a little bit, but if you like a little bit more heat, throw more in. But you've got a little bit of everything there. And the beauty of this is that it goes with almost anything. I've gone with just some plain rice, because you've got maximum flavour. You don't really need to have anything that's got too much flavour with it. You could go for some noodles. That would be awesome. Particularly because we make this a little bit more saucy. Would go excellent. So give this a go. Let me know what you think, and hit the like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. We'll see you next time for the next video. Hope everyone is doing absolutely splendid. Night night. Ooh. Nearly.